Hello, I'm Stephen Monkey Mason, and welcome back to the podcast. Paul Ray has got over his diarrhea, and I'm back with Carl. So it's been about a week since we recorded Police Academy 3. Is that about right?
That's correct.
That's Carl. And hi, Paul Ray.
Hi.
How's your bum?
It's alright, still there.
So we're doing Citizens on Patrol, Police Academy 4. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm willing.
Right, well, I'm zoomed right in on the Warner Brothers Gold Factory, and it's about to fizzle up. It hasn't got the original logo on, it's got the new one. So, is that about right for you, Carl?
Yeah, that sounds about right, mate.
Is that about right for you, Pirate Ray?
Is that 4 seconds in, is it?
I'm officially 3 seconds in.
Well, I'm 2, so we're all a second out.
Right, well, I'm going to press play after 3, so 3, 2, 1, play. Wobble wobble. Do 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 do.
I'm technically after 1, but you know.
I've got to say something about this Police Academy box set. The sound quality is class. It's so loud. Because obviously they've put the new Warner Brothers logo at front as well, which you don't find a lot of companies actually bother doing. But this one goes from the classic, well, let's call it the Police Academy March, and then goes into Citizens on Patrol, the song done by Michael Winslow, innit?
Awesome song, yeah. And they've used a different font for the title this time around, haven't they?
I've still gone for the blue.
It.
Yeah, definitely the shining blue. It was definitely early 80s, had a lot of like shining, like that kind of concept blue. Like it was like they just discovered it for some reason.
Yeah.
And here we go, Citizens on Patrol.
The tar on the street. Sorry.
Sharon Stone.
Awesome.
Sharon Stone gets a name above Leslie Easterbrook. I mean, any newcomers should not be overshadowing the following cast.
Can you remember where is Sharon Stone right now?
Can I what, Paul?
Where that is. Can you is where they will have like the theme song, like obviously they would sing on top of it, but they drag it, didn't they?
Hmm.
You just don't get like that with films anymore now, do you? You know what
I mean, I'm currently just finished the new series of X-Files, and the bit where Mulder wakes up to his phone ringing and it's the actual X-Files theme tune. You know what I mean? It's just self-aware.
Yeah.
David Spade, man.
Spade?
Tony Hawk is also in this as well. There's a few of the cast from the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in this as well.
Yeah, I think I said this is my favourite.
The Kirkland family. Very 80s Jizzle Junes. What's this then? 88?
87.
Funky ass street that, like. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. But again, it is all, it's Michael Winslow, that song though, isn't it?
Yes.
I've seen that guy's name before, like, so I think he's been in a few.
I am watching this in HD and it looks pretty good actually.
It does actually, yeah.
Seen it? Or it's because I'm maybe.
Oh, screen's crashed. Does anyone want to point out that the guy who was in Jones in the crash there was white? I mean, there's two white guys in the car.
I just like how they were clearly going like maybe 3 miles an hour and still managed to get that much air.
Yeah.
See, this is where it starts to get really campy, like Batman 60s, isn't it? Really. So it loses that like that adult theme. Gets a bit more family friendly, isn't it?
Yeah, this comes off the tail end of the third one. I mean, who have we not got then? So we haven't got Fackler's not back in this one, is he?
No. Harris is back, though, isn't he?
This is the one where Harris comes back, but he actually comes back with Proctor as well, which is pretty weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, Donovan and Martinez and stuff from the original, they were not. Mahoney's main squeeze from the last one's gone. I mean, at least he's dropped that curly mullet he had going on.
Yeah. The these are like James Bond films where he gets a new girlfriend in every film. I mean, that's what. Like,
I mean, that's Mahoney's especially is the motivator, and the sex pest, really, isn't he?
yeah, pretty much. You notice that Lassard's got more goldfish on the wall. He's got like 4 tanks on the wall.
He's got. If you look above Jones's head at the back, there's a fucking statue of a goldfish. There you go.
There is, yeah, the pink one. Aye.
4.
I love Sweet Chuck. I guess that Sweet Chuck and Zed. Oh, Zed, it's not. Sweet Chuck and Zed should have that spin off.
Zed comes in late here.
That would have been a total thing they would have done if this was done like in the modern world.
Netflix special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or HBO Max these days that everyone talks about. That's one of them, isn't it?
Never heard of it.
A motivational speech. Oh, there he is. Obviously, his last appearance in the Police Academy series.
Now,
Is that right?
that ball gag was like off Evil Dead, where they shot in reverse. In his
Right.
mouth, and then he spoke out. To be first it, like he did Evil Dead 2 with the eye.
There he is. There's Harris and there's Proctor. So at the end of the day, like, Mauser's gone and we've got Harris back. So, as
I prefer Harris, like.
I know, but like as an audience, you might be.
I do agree. Harris is better, but the fact that they really did give Hauser, I'm sure, was it that last one where he got quite a fair bit of screen time, like.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
So it's interesting now. Like something, I'm assuming that something must have happened, or something must have gone down for him to be replaced by Harris like this. Especially given how much screen time he got in the last film, like, in my opinion.
It would have made sense for Harris to come back in the third one and him to be running the other academy. Explains his absence. But then it doesn't, then Mauser could have came back in this one, but they've just, it's weird. Because they're never in the same scene at the same time, ever, so. And I don't think Proctor helps as well. Although he's a fantastic sidekick.
I was going to say, kind of serves his purpose, like, if he's just to be the goof.
So how much do you think was inspired to Kick-Ass off this Citizens on Patrol? I mean, that's essentially what Kick-Ass is, isn't he?
Kick-Ass movie.
Well, yeah, just the idea of, like, civilians being on patrol and look like neighbourhood watch. Touch my balls.
That was awesome. And every time it's on TV, it's always cut to shreds, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought that guy was wearing a mask there. So yeah, this is,
Obviously, punk were probably dying out now, wasn't it? Like, until the late 80s and stuff. She's gorgeous, isn't she?
She's a simple kind, like, just because it's on harsh there. She's got like a simple beauty. You know, she didn't have to work hard to look pretty.
The photograph of Zed on that board, is that him when he's running towards her? If you look at the photograph on the board, if it comes back on again.
it might
looks
be,
like slow motion. Oh, it's gone now.
I think this is Sweet Chuck's last one as well, isn't it?
Oh, I forgot about
House.
music.
House.
House. And that obviously started a trend, wasn't it? Having a big person in all these comedies and just take the makeup off.
House. I mean, he's in this one and the fifth one, isn't he? So he returned character.
Yeah, yeah. I was from really funny. We just picked up the script for no reason. He just picks it up. Scudgies.
Oh God. That kind of acting scares me.
not surprised. So, when did you guys put this film? Was it fair chat or?
VHS for me, like kind of like
VHS for me,
again, it's one of the ones where you see.
Probably rental.
I think as a kid, it wasn't my first favourite because I always like some of like the earlier ones and stuff. But when you watch it back, it's probably one of the better made films, especially the hot air balloons later on. And then you get to love the characters a bit more. Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen Police Academy 4 by now, then fuck.
I remember going to the fast food video shop. It was like a mama papa shop, video shop. And when you walked in, it was really they used to smoke all the time in it. So all the food tastes smelled smoky and stuff. But it was weird. And then I had like a little CRT TV time recorder for like little monsters or something. I would just take a big box VHS, take it over, and it's £1.50 per night. Bang done. And now it's. I went past it a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, and it's a garage now. It's been made into.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fun memories of fast food video. And I always just wanted a video shop. That was my dream.
So is she the returning actor? Yeah, she is. She hasn't been seen since number 2. Trying to work out what them action figures are. Looks like Hellboy in the background. Do you see them?
Oh, no, I didn't catch it.
Just above a brother.
Those potatoes do not look cooked, do they?
Proper prop.
The whole meatloaf thing.
No, they're not Hellboys. I think they're just little fishermen by the looks of it.
Tintin.
Let it go.
You know the one on the far left? He looks like Hellboy. Just all red with his jacket hanging.
Collect spoons though. Yeah, I never knew I was Mr. Spiderman like until you mentioned it. I never noticed it.
I mean, Mrs. Futterman's in Gremlins 2 as well, so is Hightower, but he almost got his scene cut. You guys see the thing going around the internet today about Cursed, Wes Craven's film?
Nah.
They're on about trying to re-release the original cut, like what's got like Corey Feldman and stuff in, which the studio all cut out because they didn't want it to be an 18-rated film.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, if it's ever going to happen in this day and age, it will.
Yeah. Just love that there, a little bit of hair. He's still shocked.
Yeah.
That was a weird transition, wasn't it?
Yeah, spiral out. He's got the pirate. He's got the Pirates of the Caribbean logo on his shirt.
That deco's probably 80s, like, isn't it? Pink and blue.
And
Is it sorry, what?
no, this is David Spade, I think.
Oh,
No.
right.
Now, is he in Christine, or is it... I always think he's the guy who Venkman zaps in Ghostbusters, but it's not.
No, it's not him, no.
David Spade, though.
Yeah.
But did David Spade get along with all these? Now, there's another... He comes back, but his partner doesn't.
Skateboards were all the rage, weren't they, in those days?
Yeah, Tony Hawk's in that are in that group there. That's Steve. What do you call him? Get his name.
Oh my god, this is so 80s, it's unbelievable. That's what's so good about it.
I remember reading upon watching this. I think Mason, you were just about to say something about did he get along with them. Apparently, Spade did get along with Gutenberg quite well. Apparently, Gutenberg took him under his wing while shooting the film. And apparently, he bought him a Rolex watch as well. So I reckon he must have gelled well.
It's just in the era of Adam Sandler and obviously David Spade's obviously has a hand in Adam Sandler getting his break as well. And Adam Sandler's one of these guys who seems to, keep remember where he came from. And you just expect, especially how many spin-offs David Spade has, either it being Joe Dirt or Dickie Roberts, that you would see any member of Police Academy in it, because they're quite, you put them in there and they're quite recognisable in the roles.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is also like the height of Saturday Night Live as well, though, isn't it? I mean, I know it's still going today, but like the 80s was, I mean, Saturday Night Live was massive in America, so you would have had a lot of connections and stuff like that.
As well as putting skateboarding on, you know what I mean? Putting this on, Gleamer of the Cube would have been the year after that. So skateboarding being...
BMX, man.
Well, again, that's it. They're really showcasing what was popular at the time, BMX Bandits and stuff like that. I mean, that just reminds me of the Metro Centre.
That's what I see the same thing.
Yeah.
Metroland. Because of the trees and stuff.
Green. Yeah, I'm going to say greenery. It is the Metro Centre.
It is. Look at them bars, man. But see, the guy on the left, obviously, he was been in the first one and then came back. Was it the third one?
Yeah.
But obviously the other guy hasn't come back.
There was 3 of them, wasn't there?
Mm.
I'm sure there was 3 of them. There's only one there,
And he's back. He was in the original.
Like the old man?
Yeah.
The judge?
Was he not one of the committee guys from this the last one? Looked like him.
That was still the mid village, isn't it?
Yes.
Slime.
Read it next week. Because of Police Academy, I always wanted to join the police force just because of Police Academy. Because I thought it would be fun.
Yeah. Be a laugh.
Well, it's not like that over there. I mean, over there you've got stuff like the sheriff's department, you've got the small towns, and you've got 3 or 4 people controlling a massive area. But you know what I mean? Over here, it's just, it's one big clusterfuck, really.
Like I say, you've only got to watch a couple of episodes of The Bill, and you know how real it is.
See, it makes sense that he would be working with Harris, considering the original.
Yeah.
He's got his stick still. Banana milkshake. That's what you're like every day, that Paulo, isn't it?
Banana milkshake? Oh yeah, I've worked, yeah. I've had it for quite a while actually, since it's been off. I'm ready for it again though. Again, I still love those black and white cars.
Still this massive rectangle as well.
Called him Dickhead there, didn't he? That's the power of love. Take Back to the Future, isn't it? Where he's Martin McFly's about the car. I'm glad you got that car.
I've seen Back to the Future, I just don't really have a HD version of it.
But come on, the power of love, I mean, that's quintessential.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to clear this without a ramp,
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Do you think I'm skateboards, man? It's just hoverboards I'm waiting for.
But imagine the havoc. I always like the idea of I'm gonna go, oh, I can't wait for hover cars and shit like that. It's like, nah, look what it would look like now when they drive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did have hover cars and all that. You have to there have to be new fucking cables above the houses and stuff. All that would be out the way, wouldn't it?
I guess next is red, white, night.
Fucking climbing the cage like fucking Mick Foley there.
Oh God.
This is quite. I don't know if this is a dummy or a stunt, like, but it's.
This looks, yeah, it looks really so doesn't it, when it falls down. Like winded him or something.
I mean, how docile did that guy have to be to realise that? Oh,
That's a stunt guy, that.
stunt guy, that.
With his hair, that's black.
Aye.
This will be amazing at work. We're concentrating. Move it.
Now, have you ever heard of Commando School? Apparently, it was supposed to be a spin-off to this while this was being made.
Was that
Never got
is it
made into production.
not Combat Academy?
Don't know, I might have gone by a different name. I just remember it as Commando School.
That's probably everything, isn't it? It's a bit the same thing like ski patrol and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Busted for skateboarding and wearing funky colours, man.
This is Dave before I had those clothing, you know, when I think it was early 90s where you had a clothing where you could change gets cold or hot.
Oh fuck! I remember them. Yeah, yeah.
If you put your hand on it, your hand would stay there, but be that imprint.
No?
It's like tie dye, but it was more.
Urban streetwear.
Didn't wash well. I think that's why it didn't last long, mate.
Yeah.
Could you buy them at Geordie Jeans?
Oh my God, Joey jeans. Let's get me skateboarding jeans there for the chain hanging down. Like a proper NSYNC. Backstreet Boys.
I think I was probably one of the first lads in our school to start wearing a chain money wallet. It took such a beating. It was not cool.
Tell you
Joey
what,
jeans
it's
when
one
you
of the
put it in there,
safest things you can do. That have a. There's the judge there. I told you, man.
No, yeah, that's because he knocked him over before, that's why. Because he knocked the judge over, didn't he?
Sharon Stone there.
Look at Spade's time, man, that's amazing.
I think Doc Brown's there for the future.
Got
Just
that
needs
whole.
a keyboard.
Here comes Mahoney's speech. Now it's funny, we watched Total Recall the other night and Sharon Stone, you know the night you had the shits, we ended up watching Total Recall and that. And
Can I just say I didn't have the shit?
yeah, you did.
But
It's fine, it happened to the best of us, but you really missed out on a nice Sharon
too busy swinging, was it? Oh, goodness.
I always wondered about them, you know, the people who take like notes in a meeting and all that. Them keyboards are just like look like big letters, but like, I mean, that's a lot of type in a fucking meeting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think that do you think it's every word though? I mean, it logically has to be in the way that they are announcing, but that's still, like you say, it's a lot of typing.
Well, these days are recorded. They get recorded.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't then. They wouldn't have you wouldn't like voice recorders and all that.
Yeah,
Be
no.
very short. Yeah. I mean, it's always weird. Like, and obviously in America, they're very public and they're very open about their courts. Over here, we get them weird ass fucking pictures drawn. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we never actually see any courtroom drama over here at all.
Nah. Now it's interesting because I've just went online to look something up about this, and I've just read something which, I mean, it might just be my brain not working. Steve Guttenberg's final appearance at Mahoney until he announced return to the franchise over 3 decades later in the 8th Police Academy movie.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, there's only 7.
There is only 7. They wanted to have been doing one for years, and Guttenberg wanted to do it.
About one that never got done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to just... I think it was going to be sort of like a rehashing of Police Academy 3. And almost like a semi-reboot. But again, if they got the cast who were still alive back, all in... like, for example, I've just watched the new series of The X-Files, the 6-parter. And it's class how many cameos, nods to the head, how much history and so much respect was put into a show. So it just depends if like the right creators are behind it, I think. So like a name check's not going to do it. It'll have to be the right script and the right scenario. But also about the new generation. There's a lot of new stand-up comedians. There's a lot of new like YouTube personalities. That's where they would have to go for to actually get the cast. You know what I mean? Because it'll not be in names. It's people's talents. Do you know what I mean? Comedy.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that she's called Mrs. Fudderman? And
Yeah.
obviously the Fuddermans were off Gremlins.
But she's in another one as well, isn't she? She's she thinks she's more than one.
She's loads of stuff, I just can't remember what. Obviously that big budget, this one, you can tell.
Oh, you can tell. And this is the last movie that he used this building, though, innit? I don't think they
Yes,
use the asylum for anything else.
Well, I
It's in the city.
don't remember the 7th one very well, like, so I am interested in getting to that one. But the next one's obviously it'll start in this one, then goes to Miami, so you might get a bit of appearance in it.
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
But it's ridiculous. The next one, Miami, and then
The Under Siege.
Under Siege. Could be Under Siege, right?
I don't think it is, to be honest.
7th one, though. Moscow.
Moscow.
More on the 6th and 7th one, I don't think that the citizens on patrol. That's fair.
He's a classically trained opera actor, you know. Like he had done his time and made his fame, and he can speak like 6 or 7 languages, and he's known for this. You know what I mean? But he just fucking owns it though, and I think that's what makes it, because he absolutely nails it every time.
But like Nielsen, he's only known for making guns and the spoof films, but he was there also.
I was going to say, whenever I say him, I do instantly think of Leslie Nielsen, like.
I bet Leslie Nielsen was in some horrors like Prom Night and stuff like that. He was in quite a few like serious films. He just ended up being typecast as a spoof, especially in the 90s. Do you know what I mean? With Spy Hard and yeah, Mr. Mongo.
No.
But like Jim Carrey, a comedy. But like Jim Carrey's a fucking amazing actor and stuff. Like Eternal Sunrise of the Spotless Mind and that. He can fucking turn it on.
Oh, man, that's probably up there, one of my favourite films, like. But he is very, very good. But then again, most comedic actors kind of are in a way. I mean, Robin Williams, he could do a really serious role. Like when he did, I mean, he was funny in Good Will Hunting, but when he turned it on with seriousness, it was one of his best pieces.
Yeah.
Or Dead Poets Society, another awesome piece where, like I say, most people he gets these quirky one-liners in, but like for the majority, it's really quite straight down the line. And like I say, a lot of comedians do that, but I reckon it's because a lot of comedians come from that place as well. Yep.
It's an expression of the comedy's an expression of like what's the word, man? It's a coping mechanism. The comedy comes out that way.
Yeah, aye. I know what you mean now.
So Harris is back. Obviously, Hightower sells that. Like Hightower knocking down all the lockers, it sells that he's back and he's not happy. So again,
yeah,
it switches back, and I think the audience by now goes, "Oh, well, Harris is back," and he hasn't missed a beat.
Harry's t-shirt, Dirty Harry on it.
Yeah.
Which is also Warner Brothers. Spotted by Adidas again, aren't we?
Adidas.
Adidas.
He walks in the shower, doesn't he? Quite a delay, him getting wet there, like.
Just the music comes on too, isn't it? The score size it.
There's another weird transition, like a diamond drop, when it splits from the down.
Was it that video set from years ago, like a video wipes and stuff, you know, to do it?
Oh, they're a common thing on all editing that, like transitions.
Could just be like, this could feel like it could easily just be like a really long episode, isn't it? Or like a TV episode.
I mean, it's not new. I mean, it's back there. They're not people want to be police officers. The civilians, and again, it's kind of like what they did in the first and the third one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it all comes down. It's very much the same thing in all the films, isn't it? They've all got the same kind of tone.
Yes. Obviously, in the end, just like something big happens, like in a same film. Beginning. I mean, that's it's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The balloon chase in this one, then you had a water chase in the third one, and then obviously you got the other chase in Miami, and then you got a bigger chase. And so yeah, it's the same kind of layout. It's just easy as it. Oh, really hell.
But that seemed to be the memo really when it comes to like the 80s and that. I think I referred back to in one of the earlier films, like it feels a little bit like Friday the 13th, that those movies just made enough money to warrant a sequel. But they were the same principle. Like I say, you always joke and say, you know, if you've seen one Friday the 13th film, you've seen them all. And it's the same with this. I think this had a little bit more credit to it. There's a lot more dynamic to it, but at the same time, it's like the same principle. They just need to tweak it just a little bit so it justifies it being a different type of film. But yeah.
But I mean, this is the one where the core goes, because obviously Guttenberg goes, Bobcat Goodworth goes, Paul Ray gets a text message.
Not me.
Not me
this time. New in Texas from you guys.
I've got no mates, so.
I'm glad you said that.
Who's this old guy on the left?
Do you think I hang out at HMV every other day?
Definitely not.
Sharon Stone, though. Quirky one for her to be in.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like, what's she doing right now, though?
Yeah. Obviously, everyone starts somewhere. Like Kim Cattrall from like the first or the second one or the third one. Really, isn't it?
True.
Tack.
She's called Feldman, not Futterman.
Oh, yeah, I know, I just realised. It's been years since I've seen it, man.
Size of that fucking gun, man.
Checker Ray.
Right there, ghouls. But have a very, very, very,
very nice day. Oh, this bit's a bit weird, man. Fucking riding on a bike like that.
I do like that wifey though, she's gorgeous. Must be like 80s hair. She's probably 70 now. That's just a cheap exercise bike, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a...
It's still going underwater.
How come we can't get those citizens on patrol tops with the sword on the front of them?
Go on Etsy, I bet they're on there.
Yeah.
It's like I was looking on Etsy the other day and average Joe tops, but someone was like, what, was it 19 quid plus postage? I was like, fucking hell, no.
Jeez.
I'm gonna look later on for one of those tops, but I can get some stuff.
Me Turtles t-shirts came today at Brittany's.
Alright, yeah.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Do you have to pay any extra?
I've had to pay £11 customs charge for summer, but we can't work out what it is. So
Christ.
They're always cut on TV.
oh, she has not got a bra on.
Email. No.
Even the tune, her like she's got her own little theme tune.
Uh-huh.
Now here's the shot. Wow.
Yep.
Always cut on TV, that one.
And I'm just going to check because I've still got the original VHS.
Where's the, where's the Chinese man? That she was with?
He's not back either, is he?
I think he goes back later on, doesn't he?
He
Or is
does.
he totally gone?
It's a PG.
Ah.
Oh, he does. No, he comes back. He's in another academy. I think he has a cameo.
Look at me! I used to hate using those cameras for media college. I had to develop myself and chemicals and stuff in the dark room.
Oh mate, man, when I work in the photography studio at Beamer, all I ever get is like nerds like that come in going, oh, so have you got a dark room? Do you do this? You do that? I say, nah mate, it's electricity. I just shoot them up in camera.
Jesus.
Mickey's dead, Paul.
I always remember that Mickey Mouse watch.
Yeah.
He killed him.
Oh.
Oh, is this the one where he gets it glued to his face?
Yeah.
So I think
Cute.
this is actually Sharon Dunn's first like actual big film. I'm just looking through now, and she's done a few TV series. She's done like Magnum PI and TJ Hooker and stuff like that, which is like inevitable. But I should only ever did like either TV movies or shorts until this film.
Oh, it's fucking not the glued microphone yet. It's the fucking
right.
right guard.
It's the,
That's slow down there.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the thing is, like, you would realise, like, when you got your mace there, you know what I mean? It says fucking mace and warning letters.
Really bad prop that, like, isn't it? It looks like someone just stuck it on, doesn't it?
So neither of you guys have seen One Crazy Summer, have you?
Many years ago, mate.
It's fucking,
Nah, not that I recall.
he's fucking
much
class
of
in
it,
that. John Cusack, man.
Have you guys ever done that? Had a shower and put some like deodorant on, but had a bit of a bad reaction to it.
Me, did we not hear what happened was when I was at work and like Big David gave us some spray and it was antiperspirant, which I'm allergic to, and I reached up and all my armpit hairs were clumped together and I just tugged briefly just to try and get it out, you know when you get a clump, and all my armpit hairs came out together.
Nice. Oh, no.
What's worse, a reaction between your armpit hairs or between your legs and, like, you know what I mean, that bit there, that's the worst, I think.
I don't think I was sprayed anything down there.
Well, not spraying, just a bit, you get a bit of wet and dry down there and that's it.
It's a little TV on it, little blaster there. Little TV on it. Little TV on it, look. Little TV.
Wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Oh. Just setting up the skit the winners.
Yep.
Yep. Good stunt, like, but did he start lifting up before he actually touched the bench?
Yeah, but they hit the wires well on that though.
Alright.
This is Mason.
What's that?
one with a handbag like that, a man bag with a whistle. Yeah, I thought I'd just pick on you.
Poor sweet.
Just look at him from. And his head's kicking back. Protecting him. I think he's got a relationship now, isn't it?
Oh, he's back to being a ninja again.
Yep. Very randomly.
You can't learn anything like that. That's me trying to do karate.
It's so fucking random, that bit.
This film's got more wipes than Star Wars. You're not the enemy. You're the enemy.
No, I think they're friends in real life, you know. I know you mentioned earlier on about the chemistry and that. But I'm sure they're actually friends in real life.
No, they do seem really like. Yeah, they do seem really.
This bit's quite funny.
I love this bit.
I love how he breaks. I love how he breaks the 4-4 like. Again though, like that's like these are more Looney Tunes, Wile E. Coyote fucking skits than anything.
These days, it would be a CGI of them flying across the room. It would look terrible, wouldn't it?
Oh, they wouldn't be able to get the insurance, could they?
Yeah, it'd just be like CGI of him.
Unless you're Tom Cruise.
As I said before on one of the other podcasts, it might work if Adult Swim would take this on as a sort of, you know what I mean, a limited animated series and get the people with the voices in and like the original characters and then create some wacky new characters, you know what I mean?
I think if it was going to, it would just be streaming, just be direct. But
Oh, absolutely, but I mean, like I say, you're right though, because to be honest with you, not to say that they're not doing much, but there's a lot of these actors here who I think would more than happily continue. It's not like a lot of them are like in blockbusters every other day. So
That's
that's
right,
probably a nice little cash in for them. Sorry?
does it rose? It's a video.
Is that the same, that's the same location that is the car in the first one, isn't it? Because the rise bit behind them where people were looking and they do the driving training and that bit and then people looking down.
Aye, well, aye, there's aye. It's probably behind the scenes of the asylum.
Hawks! Look at that guy just deadpan. I mean, David Spade had a bit of a... I can't think of anything he was in between that and then maybe stuff like Breaking Out and stuff like, what was it, Tommy Boy and stuff like later on.
Yeah. Was he in Coneheads? That was the 80s, wasn't it?
Chris Farley was. I don't know if David Spade was in that one.
I think one.
Adam Sandler's in Coneheads. Fucking hell, like Blind. Is this the fucking Blue Oyster Club again?
It's the, actually, I remember reading this as well. This is the last one that actually has the Blue Oyster Club in. The last appearance of the Blue Oyster Club.
Oh, the hour mark. The hour mark on the Blue Oyster Club. Our ring is back. So, there's a blue... Just an intermission.
Yep.
Well, that goes the theory of the theory of the one phone call.
Yeah. Definitely,
Yeah.
we had no problem when we did Total Recall, didn't we?
No, we didn't know.
Alright, I'll get then. See you later, bye.
Yeah, I've listened to that podcast back. I really enjoyed that. It was a good one.
It was a bit, you know what it is? I think it was just because it was like a little bit unprepared.
Yeah.
I think we were just like sitting there going, do we do something? Do we do? And then I just listed a couple of films off and I was like, okay, let's do Total Recall.
Hoop to hoop.
I remember when our school tried to like form an official basketball team. Failed miserably. It's not something that you do in this country, is it really?
Well, that was it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like over here. Oh, he smashes it, didn't he? There's a lot of like American sports, and like at our age as well. In school, like you used to see a lot of baseball, but then they're like at school, like, oh, we're playing cricket. Okay, well, I don't want to play cricket. The rules of baseball are simple. The rules of fucking cricket are weird as shit.
Well, our school just simplified it by doing, was it quick cricket? You remember that?
No.
Yeah. It was basically just, it was mostly like, I think it was primary indoor cricket, but we did it outdoors as well. But it basically just throws out a lot of the rules. You just have to hit the ball and see if you can get as many runs as you can. Which essentially is cricket, but you don't like have like sixes and fours and all that.
Oh,
Good thing, isn't
this
it?
is
So
a
it's
good
this,
fucking.
like,
This is a big ass fucking funny stunt. This mind. This could be the prank of the movie. This. Comes another swipe. They've went all take. Someone's just hit the Someone's just hit the randomize on that. Like, oh, can I have I don't want to do the side swipe. I'll have a diagonal swipe. What about a cloverleaf stripe? Well, I'll have one of them then. Okay, whatever. I mean, to be honest with you, how long was he taking the shit there? And don't you guys say anything about episode 2 of the show.
This rays of Jack. Steve was gets flung up in the sky.
Yeah, quite an elaborate prank though, isn't it? Like there's being pranked and then there's just like doing this.
What happened? He walked out. He just killed himself.
Who's responsible for that?
Be manslaughter.
Zed. What's the plane?
That'll be improv. That'll be the you know what I mean. Now you could have a fucking aeroplane going by, but then it would have to all be about timing.
No, you could just step out there when it was like 40 feet in the air. Squish. Like he's reaching Archie.
I mean, is it a baseball game or a football game?
Football.
Remember those days we could actually be in a crowd of people?
Notice how he don't call us on this there, but he stood up and he had his underpants on, so.
I guess
Never noticed that. What was it looking?
It's podcast. Podcast, you always look.
Where were you looking like, Paul?
A crowd of people, because I'm not used to having crowds of people.
Again, this looks like the same room where Jones is playing the arcade machine in the first one.
Yeah.
They're pretty up, like 3 rooms you can use and just use the same ones and change it around.
Got a really funny thing coming here though, with the fucking murderer and all that.
I kind of want one of those t-shirts now.
I know. I'm printing this one out.
I'm telling you, go on Etsy. I bet there's one on there.
I was going to say it's looking very nice for, like I say, a late 80s film.
Yeah.
Move it, move it, move it. Again, they get waken up in the first and the third one as well in the midnight, so it's still following the same outline as the other films.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sorry, don't worry.
What?
I don't know. You actually call yawned.
Well, you know.
Boring them.
Tired, me, man. Tired.
Got me yawning now, you dick.
Oh, bloody hell.
Now, you want to talk about reusing locations and all that. That looks like the scene. Hey, that's my greengrocer!
Yeah. I suppose it's smart in a way. It's all in the same world, the same streets, the same buildings, just different stories.
I mean, how he doesn't recognise his uncle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing these at the pictures? It would have been awesome, wouldn't it?
That is totally where the film. That's my greengrocer. It totally is.
It's also a very unusual uniform they've got there, isn't it? It's like the most least cop-looking uniform in the world.
Looks like garbage. People don't know.
Yeah, just look like janitors.
Now, here's a fact. Were all police academies released at the pictures, or...
Yeah, I think they were, yeah.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
I think they were, yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, he totally looks like Hightower.
I guess,
Yeah, man.
Fucking hell. I mean, considering that's meant to be Tackleberry in there, he's keep like, put us down any later. I mean, he should be like, Uncle?
What the
you can
fuck?
tell he's quite done, though.
Yeah, it was a long pause on him, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know, try to insinuate that he might have been suspicious.
Oh, when I did the podcast last night for Anacondas, I was on about like they literally could have took 15 minutes out of that movie.
Is Anaconda's a sequel, like Aliens, or is it just Anaconda?
It's Anacondas. It's got an S on the end, but again, it was kind of like it was just so like you look at times where you trim it down, and like sometimes on these films, they probably pause a little bit longer just to get it to an hour and a half sometimes, because they are quite short movies.
Yeah, I'm going to say they're not even an hour and a half, are they?
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
Hour and 27 minutes.
I was going to say, it's not.
Again, you can either struggle to get to the hour and a half mark, that's with end credits, so obviously adding slow motions, even when Zed's walking past there, they'll all add up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The song at the end. Full song. Here again. It just really dates it, doesn't it? I mean, chainsaws and hockey masks and stuff. Because obviously Friday the 13th would have been... Which one? Jason Takes New York? Was that Manhattan?
Jason Takes Manhattan would have been late 80s, I imagine 88.
Yeah.
It's quite a long, like, to be honest with you, if you think about that though, that's a prank to Proctor, then a prank to them back to back. That really none of it progresses the story.
No, I've paused the story completely, So I was stuff to do, so it was like, can we do like a really big prank? this is what I would categorise as a fun film. You know, you don't really care so much about the plot or even the quality of acting and stuff like that. I think it's just something where it's just
You just go there, corner, drink.
Oh, I mean, we're watching these back. It's just like reminiscent and stuff like that. I mean, they're great movies, you know. But again, you kind of look back now and like the amount of films we've seen, and you look at some of the little bits and bobs, and you'd be like, if it was made now, it's a lot of stuff would have to be politically correct and. Oh, we're lost now.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I'm here. I'm still here.
We've lost Carl.
He must have just got bored.
Oh, he got bored, has he?
Yeah. He was serious, wasn't he? Probably fell asleep.
He hasn't got fucking narcolepsy. Oh yeah.
The Care Bears, I've seen his little Care Bear thing on it. His little light guard.
Yeah. Paul Ray thinks you got narcolepsy, by the way, Carl.
You think I've got narcolepsy?
Aye.
Aye, how come like?
Before he fell asleep. You would have heads
Oh,
off.
asleep? No, I'm just a wise man, Paul. I only say things Here's another prank.
It's funny because like, it is like me sit for it is like a Looney Tunes where it's just a super glue and massive writing, doesn't it?
Sharon
Like,
Stone looks like Robin Wright in Toys. That weird
Robin
fuck.
Wright?
Robin Wright. Robin Williams is love interest in the movie.
Oh, the crazy white.
Forrest Gump's
I
girlfriend.
vaguely remember. That's something I have to go back and watch. Toys. I don't really remember a lot about it.
No. We can do it. We can do it as a podcast. We'll do it as a podcast, and I'll try and ring Matty Connor halfway through to see if he'll join. He'll probably tell us to get fucked and never ring him again.
Didn't you think it was going to be like a comedy or not?
Oh yeah, it's got some psychological torment, that movie, like.
I love this bit. Oh.
The fact that she is really cute, but I know it's the 80s and everything,
No.
but that
She's actually
hairstyle
cute
would
as
never
Sharon Stone.
fly. Yeah. But a hairstyle would never fly in this day and age. It's literally just looking to roll out of bed.
Yeah. Well, they don't make hats like that anymore. I mean, that's a proper 80s hat, that.
Yeah. Poor Zed.
Here's what Paul Ray was on about before. Saxophone
the
out.
machine.
Now, who's this? This is quite a famous song, actually, isn't it?
I can't hear it, mate. I've turned the noise. I've turned the sound off.
How far did he fly back
I know.
from the
I can't
flash?
hear it.
Is it not George Michael?
Sounds like Wham, yeah. I mean, she's got fucking loads of hair, like.
Alright.
She's gorgeous.
It's an interesting approach to take the winner, like when you think of like this era, like you know, like having, you know, like you would expect like Mahoney to get the girl, yet they've managed to put in a massive part of this film, which is basically just Zed, like hooking up with the really attractive girl.
I think at this point, though, I think Bobcat was fucking huge in America. Because at the end of the day, you know, you don't have social media and shit then. But like, the guy who talks funny off Police Academy, you know, Zed, like, he was instantly recognisable because he stood out because of his voice. And he appeared in a few movies. Did fizzle away, but again, he's went on to direct some quite bizarre stuff, but he's always kept busy.
He did an animated TV show for like a American channel. That he wrote and produced.
Yeah, there he is, Nagata.
There he is.
Here he is. So he's obviously been in England then.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with films like this, you know, when like people can't, like, if you look at Jet Li and the Expendables, yeah, I'll be in the second one, but I can only do X amount of days, and you work around it, because a lot of the time now is, oh, you can only work X amount of days, and they just sack them off. That's probably what happened with Harris in the second one.
Yeah. I was actually literally going to make that same example of Jet Li and Expendables before you said it there.
But like even in a joke, oh, he's got to drop him off at Hong Kong, because obviously he would have been doing other stuff, like, but
Yeah.
but again, you like it's like, have you seen Triple X Return of Xander Cage?
Nope. Yeah.
The best bit about that movie is when fucking Ice Cube turns up.
Right at the very end, it just like kind of includes them.
And like that's like,
you clearly made that one day shoot.
yeah, and like I love cameos like that where they're just justified perfect. It's like Brendan Fraser like turning up in Son-in-Law and stuff like that, where they just have these obscure cameos, but like just used right.
I love how all the commentators have like goldfishes.
Fucking hell, I mean that was a fucking egg. Dissolve that. And again though, this is where the movie really sort of snaps ahead though, doesn't it? This is,
Yeah, the third act.
but there's been no bad guy, there's been no but there's been no antagonist, you know what I mean? There's no like,
Nah.
he's gonna be the villain, let's swipe the side. And we haven't really mentioned, we haven't talked about the guy with the hat on here. He's the lawyer at the start of the movie.
I remember him in the beginning, like, but it is really random that he would now be in it now.
Especially if he's took the bar and he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
SVR 7000 video recorded. Nice.
That's what you need. 4 heads long play before Nikon came out.
Really happy with that fucking hula hoop, isn't he?
Wagon
Wagon wheels one, yeah.
What's
Wagon wheels.
ready to rescue 2?
I don't know, but I want to know how good the first one was.
It reminds you a bit about Jingle All the Way. You know when the police come in, Jingle All the Way. What are you doing? I've been working this giant for ages. Oh yeah,
I do like read all the film when they're talking about like, you know, all these high tech goods and stuff like that, but like obviously it's just severely aged. It all reminds me of Fast and the Furious, because that didn't feel as old. But like if you think about the first one, when they're robbing the van at the very beginning, they're robbing like videotape players and TV, VHS combis and stuff like that.
I mean, I was saying, guys, I've been watching the X-Files and like, it's only like, I mean, I watched the new 6 seasons and I've watched the first and the last season, but then I was sitting there thinking like, and just remembering like being in school when X-Files first came out, and you see, you know what I mean, and like you sort of appreciate how long the series has been going for, because if you said to someone, oh yeah, it's 35 years, but unless you can pinpoint a moment that you saw it in the pictures or you remember seeing the magazine. I mean, I always remember 95 very well for going to New Zealand and seeing Fifth Element advertised fucking everywhere, especially along the subways. You know, seeing London, you mean the underground, just fucking Fifth Element's coming out. But unless you can like sort of go, fuck me, how long ago was that? It's just sort of, you forget, you know what I mean? You forget when a film, oh, it's like, it's 40 years old, but if you haven't got any like connection or memories to it, you know what I mean, you've just seen it at a later age, you sometimes don't really grasp it enough.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants a lot of new. A lot of people say, oh, I want to see something new and I want to see something new. A lot of people are afraid to revisit stuff before the childbirth. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like 70s and 60s to an 80s kid isn't really like, they might have seen it, but like, would you watch something from the 50s? Do you know what I mean? Because there's some really good films made.
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen at least a good few Charlie Chaplin films, just because obviously, fair enough, it's because he's notoriously great at what he did. But the reality is, I go back and watch them, and I think they're absolutely amazing. Seven Samurais, like they always on that like top 100 movies you should watch. I watched it just because I love the kind of Magnificent Seven. So going back, I think not a lot of people do it, but you're right. When you watch something and then it links to something that's much older, you think, oh, I'm going to go and watch the original now because it clearly stemmed from somewhere.
It's
the kid.
now this guy is not only has he been in an X-Files episode recently called
yes, he loves his X-Files.
Fight Flat, but he's also the guy who Ace Ventura robs at the very start of the movie. Warning, assholes are closer than they appear. Corruption will be reported to Internal Affairs. Again though, like the first movie.
Like a ninja pose there.
You know, it is like a first movie when like there's that big bust out, you know what I mean, or the robbery at the end. It all just for the last half an hour just sort of kicks up into a fucking big ass stunt.
Yeah.
He probably had an album as well, you know.
I love this bit, yeah. Shut up. How big is that walkie-talkie?
See, I think it would have been funny if she was actually Tackleberry's mum.
Yeah, if she had more of a connection.
Yeah.
But then again, Tackleberry's taking a bit of a backseat in this one.
Oh, truly, yeah. He's had no gun gimmick, has he? Yet.
Well, it was only when that woman had the gun at the beginning when she first fired it and flew back. That's pretty much the only thing that's happened. And now these two are getting it back on.
Was that a family house, wasn't it? That was it. That didn't need anywhere, did it?
No. I mean, even that's
To be
a
honest
massive... Sorry, Carl, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, to be honest with you, I think that scene might have been put in there because originally his wife was meant to be coming back to this, but then she couldn't because of the time schedule. But then, of course, last minute she was able to turn up. So I feel like that scene might have just been put in there just because she could.
It's nice when they do it and, like, you know what I mean, don't recast or, like, the elephant in the room. It's great even when you see, especially when you see these many films and you see the cast going back and you know who they are.
Yeah.
At least Tackleberry just making a massive mistake and it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
It's just a guy.
Yeah,
That's so bad.
Fucking hell, you wouldn't miss that shit at sea, Jesus. I love that.
Some of the ninjas.
There's one of those
Can you imagine
ninjas.
seeing that? Yeah, can you imagine seeing that? He's oh, this one was great.
That's it though, there's one of those ninjas.
Now, just because you said it before, would it affect you if they did recast like a major role for a different character? Would that stop you from seeing a film? Just curious.
Well,
He's coming in, yeah.
Well, say
Well,
for the
no,
Police
this
Academy,
can't be
we are in for that next when Mahoney's sort of like he's not recast as a character, but obviously his character, the spot for Mahoney's still there. But you're talking about, say for example, you're looking at Liam Neeson and Arnold Vosloo coming along and being the Dark Man, and like Arnold Vosloo, I think delivers a better performance of Dark Man. but Liam Neeson carries the fucking rage. So you can look at that and go, just delivery of the characters. But like, when someone's only been in the character once, to suppose if someone's been in 4 films, then they recast them. That's when I think it's just like, why bother recasting them? Change the story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about Mad Max?
Well, that's it. Mel Gibson should have done Mad Max. Like, I mean, don't get us wrong. I think Tom Hardy was great, especially the bandwagon of Tom Hardy going on. But Mel Gibson shouldn't.
I disagree with you there, mate. I disagree with that. I don't think Tom Hardy did great. I think Tom Hardy's a good actor, but I personally think he phoned it in on that film.
Well, the thing.
I don't believe he did. I think that was even remotely impressive.
Well, I was just saying, it's Tom Hardy bandwagon. I mean, he was propping up and everything, and I mean, at the end of the day, people would have went and seen it because his name was attached. But the end of the day, it's a sequel. But Mel Gibson. I mean, we've talked about this before, Carl. Mel Gibson should have done that film, and that could have been a fucking huge comeback because the score's amazing. It's digitally stunning. And just to see Mel Gibson back as Mad Max, it's a kind of like it was his missed opportunity of a Rambo, or like Stallone coming back as Rocky, and you know what I mean. Everyone's on about Lethal Weapon this, Lethal Weapon that. It's not going to fucking work, especially when you've got a TV show in the mix. And here is laid on the platter for Mel Gibson, and he just didn't do it. I think.
But the question is, did he get asked though? Because obviously we're still living in a world where a lot of people fucking hate that man.
Well,
so
that's
did he
it.
Get the opportunity of doing it, or did he turn it down? We don't know, do we?
The end of the day, though,
I don't think he would have turned it down.
No, but again, it's the kind of thing where we're in an era where people love film characters in movies. I mean, you know what I mean. Actors might be pricks in real life, but people don't really follow them that way. You know what I mean? They're in love with the film characters, and that's what makes the fucking money. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
I think Mad Max Fury Road could just be a separate film.
Oh yeah.
Mad Max,
again, but I think that was another one where they played around a lot with it, though, didn't they? They said, it's going to be a sequel. Actually, no, it's going to be a prequel. Oh, no, we're going to be it's an homage to it, and it never quite made its mind up what it wanted to be.
But even the video game was great. Have you guys played the video game?
No.
I
don't know it, but it's quite good.
It's really good. I mean, it's a definition of a sandbox. It's a fucking huge sandbox. But Tom Hardy's voice is not in it. Do you know what I mean? But that came out at the same time, and it's a fucking amazing game.
Yeah. Now, would the balloon actually follow a red baron? Do you think that would actually catch up with it? I don't think so.
I don't think balloons work that way. I don't know if you can control a balloon that well.
I mean, this is the most outlandish bit of any of the movies, because hot air balloons are totally unpredictable, extremely dangerous, and very hard to control. I mean, you could set up for a full fucking day, and all of a sudden it rains and it's down. I mean, look how many they've got taken off there in sequence.
Because they're not lying, are they? It's not like they're pretending there's loads of them. Literally is. Quite a few there.
But this, at the time though, this was when hot air balloons were a massive thing though. They were a huge thing back then.
I think when they're not actually in they're just someone guys wobbling.
Poor man's process.
These days we all CGI, wouldn't it?
Very much. Well, we were talking about how Tom Cruise was absolutely adamant that he wanted to fly the jet in the new Top Gun film, and he lost that battle. They just said there's just absolutely no way we're going to let a civilian. And apparently he did get his pilot license in some stupid record time, but the army said no, you're not. There's no way you're flying it. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, they're $1 million bloody planes. You know what I mean? But they did it well though, because if you watch the trailer, they just basically put him in the backseat.
Look at Tyler Berry's so excited, isn't he? When he's seen the red bar, he just so excited, you can tell by his face, he's like a kid in a candy shop.
I mean,
be in the film again.
The end of the day, you know what the false is here, don't you? You know what the problem is, don't you?
Come on, man.
Well, the thing is, right, everyone's chasing after them in hot air balloons, right? The thing is, all they need to do is follow the hot air balloon, because it's going to come down eventually. I mean, they're not going to get far. Do you know what I mean? No, all these people do not need to be jumping up on hot air balloons and fucking aeroplanes. You know.
The day before I prepared went through the wall. Could have just killed someone. Now there's people in front of it.
You said it's a wall, though. It looked like cardboard to me.
That's right. Yeah. I trying to get my words out.
And
I mean, to be honest with you, that would have probably blown the whole hot air balloon up. To be honest with you.
easy.
I mean, that's green screen or blue screen for the time.
Yeah.
That's Will Harris, man, is it? It was propped up, but it wasn't Harris. That's a different guy. Must be a guy who's driving.
It was probably Mauser and he probably quit. It's a very frantic, like, ending.
It's just like you can imagine they've all been sat in the boardroom going, right, how do we make this bigger than the last one? It's just like, but we've got more money than we've ever had. What do you want to do with it?
I mean,
I've got an idea.
whoever had that idea, though, it'll be like, oh yeah, but like, it's just the practicality again. Hot air balloons,
Yeah.
I mean, hot air balloons and waterfalls, I mean, you don't even think about that in the same fucking sentence, do you?
Yeah. But it is just like an episode of Wacky Races.
They may have said features entire film is.
Yeah.
And then it's just pretty well over 20 minutes.
I mean, you guys have been given a lot of grief about, like, 5, but at least I think with 5, it takes them to Miami. You know what I mean? It puts them in a different environment, and I think that's what works.
But yeah, because look at what they're doing right now. They had to turn around and say, right, we need to do something way different. Because let's be honest, between 1 and 4, they are very much, we've all said, it's very much the same kind of tempo. We've got the same scene, we've got the same location. So really, they had no choice but to say, right, we need to do something completely different. Well, Miami, I think that's just an easy shooting location. Like I say, it gives you a lot of outdoors. Yeah, definitely. And you can rely on the weather to a certain degree.
Kind of looks like English countryside, doesn't it? It doesn't look very American.
Nah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was English, like.
It's Canada, I think.
Well, you said it was Canada from the beginning, didn't you?
Well, again, like, if you look at this stunt, right, that's a very believable stunt, right? You look at Hobbs and Shaw, and when The Rock decides to jump off one guy when they're going down the side of the other building to get the other guy, you think, that's just fucking ludicrous.
That film is ludicrous, but I've got to admit, I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, it's fun entertainment, and that's what it was, like. But again, look at that stunt.
What's the rope on?
The balloon.
You would be sliding down there and bricking it, wouldn't you? Like, I'm a stuntman. I'm invincible. I'm invincible. You should just be saying that to yourself, wouldn't you?
I'm going to say, like, stuntmen in this era, they're probably sitting there going, oh, if I'm going to die, please don't make it a police academy film.
Again, though, like, they're just 2 stowaways and they haven't committed a murder. They haven't got someone hostage. Just wait till the fucking balloon lands, you know what I mean?
Time of the essence.
And he's going to fucking wing walk, I mean, of course.
Well, yeah, he's been trained, remember?
Why did people around and just fly away?
I love how we're in that era where obviously the bad guy are definitely in the bad guy plane. You know, everything's random.
Well,
they had to be in the red one with the very much Nazi looking symbol.
Exactly, aye.
And their faces did not match at all.
Nah.
It's a bit harsh. Like, why don't you lose some weight?
You can see the pirate there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the screen eye. His nose was popping out.
Yep. Damn white screen.
I mean, what happens to that aeroplane? It could crash on anybody.
Yep.
You guys seen, well, the two films that normally get forgotten about when you talk about films that mimicked each other in the same 12 months? Stuff like Ants and Bug's Life and Armageddon and Deep Impact. Terminal Velocity and Drop Zone. Two big parachuting movies.
Yeah. Although I've only seen Drop Zone.
Terminal Velocity is quite a good action movie, yeah.
I was thinking it's a very dodgy shot where it comes to land, but the cameraman like knocks. And the kid in the background was like, I'm going to put your face down. Yeah, a guy in the background with a little sweater on, a little blue sweater, look at him. Yes, yes.
With the mullet.
Little ginger kid in the background. Also.
Let's see if anyone looks at the camera.
Mahoney's missing in action again. I mean, of course he is.
It's like James Bond. Thank you, Bond. But where's Bond gone? Oh, he's with the girl.
And they've got a police academy. They just happen to have a police academy fucking
Where did that fucking come from?
See, someone will. Yeah, it's a but.
And he was never seen again. I mean, that's the moral of that story.
Apparently went to work for Nova Laboratories.
And they were never seen again. I mean, bit of sad.
Yeah. I know, because one killed the other.
But no main bad guy, no real reason to have a crazy balloon race. But a montage.
There we go.
Well, it feels like it could have been the last one.
He was missing from the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was Mike Winslow.
He was fighting the ninjas.
He was already up the tree, ready for it.
See, that's what I think. A lot of stuff that will just stay on the character and have the names on, you know what I mean? Like the credits, like the 18 would have.
She went missing for a while, didn't she?
She do.
I think that's the issue with this film, this series, though. They're trying to introduce a new character, or at least a couple of characters in every film that it's literally impossible to keep everyone on screen time.
And then being called Sally.
Sharon Stone.
Oh, Lord. I can't bring back Joel in Sync tonight.
Did. I mean, that's a clusterfuck there of credits. He was wasted, Scott Thompson, because he was in a, like, you know, he's an original, he was kind of wasted. That's him. There we go, Stewie Egg. Tony Hawk's at the very end.
Just really dated, but yeah, Please Come Before is my favourite. It's just so 80s, it's unbelievable.
Tony Hawk, man, look at him.
Hey guys, look at
He's
me.
a kid.
I got a PlayStation 2 game.
I used to fucking play that game like it was a nightmare.
Yeah, it comes back out soon.
That'd be remastered. I don't mind like skill like games like that. I think they're quite fun, but it's like when you get halfway through and it's like mission 12, you have to grind 22 yards. It's like fuck off. I think me and my mate spent many nights drinking and playing that game and just getting absolutely mental with it.
Well, I've been Steve Monkey Mason. This has been the podcast for Police Academy 4, also known as Citizens on Patrol. We're going to go straight into 5 tonight, so we'll be back on a short notice. But thanks for listening. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Lubo Carl. Right, see you in the next one.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Oh,
Right.
you'll have to find it.
Stop arguing, you two. We forgot something, right? Okay, we haven't done Paul's facts and facts. We haven't done Carl's facts and facts. So this is for Police Academy 4. Say your piece.
I'll do it first because my phone's dying when I use IMDb, so I can't do his facts. I'll let you do the facts today.
Well, as far as the movie releases of 1987, I believe it was quite the year, as we had Lethal Weapon, RoboCop, Oscar-winning Over the Top. I'm not sure about the Oscar-winning part, but I'm sure that was it. We had Predator,
Ooh.
and we had Mr. Mason's all-time favourite horror film,
Lush Boys.
The Lost Boys. Yeah, so quite the year, really, when you think about it, for 87.
A lot of R-rated there, though. A lot of R-rated movies.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mention all of them. So, like, for example, Princess Bride, Dirty Dancing, those were still there. So, yeah, it's quite the year we missed.
What was the budget on that Police Academy Force on patrol?
Chat for a second.
Citizens on patrol.
Bum 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 bum. Citizens on patrol.
Citizens on patrol.
I just want to get this right because you know the pressure last time when I got like the entirely wrong thing.
Like when you tell me that Super Troopers is available on DVD, Blu-ray, and I tell you it's not,
No.
and you want to fucking start an argument over a podcast over it, I'm going to put you down.
Excuse me, I don't believe it was an argument. I believe it was a discussion, and I very much owned up to that being incorrect. But I would have lost a lot of money because at the time I would have totally put money that I thought I was trying to. So let's have a look. So opening weekend in the USA, we made $8,482,487. So for April, that was pretty good because I mean, considering like when movies get released, it's not normally until like well in the summer before like the big budgets kind of make money.
Yeah.
So worldwide, it made 28 million. So I suppose, like I say, considering what it doesn't actually tell me the budget.
It doesn't. No. It did 76.8 million United States dollars, but it doesn't tell you the budget. 2 cents out. If batteries dying on me with a phone, so 2 cents. Quick use it. 17 million.
Quite a big budget that for movies.
Yeah, 17 million.
Not bad at all. You can see why that was keeping progressively making sequels.
What year was Short Circuit?
Okay. 86 was it?
I want to say 86 on that one. It's a year before.
So, like, basically, Guttenberg ends up working with Mr. Harris, and that's how probably Harris comes back for that one then.
1986, yeah, I'm right.
You take bastard of it. Well, yeah, definitely.
And that's the fancy figures for today.
That's the figures for today.
As again, right, we'll get it right for Police Academy 5. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.